Story 1, The Pumpkin Man. Scene 1, The Drive Home. It was Halloween night, and rain had been falling non-stop since sunset. I was driving back from a late shift at a gas station on the edge of town, windshield wipers slapping against the rhythm of thunder. The streets were empty, save for a few flickering jack-o'-lanterns melting under the downpour. I always hated working late on Halloween. There's something about the rain mixed with those hollow, glowing faces that makes everything feel off. Like the town was holding its breath. As I turned onto the narrow backroad that led to my house, my headlights flashed across something that shouldn't have been there. A man standing at the edge of the woods, wearing a soaked pumpkin mask. Scene 2, The Figure in the Rain. At first, I thought it was just some kid playing a prank. But he didn't move when my car passed. He just stood there, facing the road, head tilted slightly to the side. When I glanced back in the mirror, he was gone. A cold wave ran down my back. The rain intensified, and I kept my eyes forward, convincing myself it was nothing, just some drunk teenager messing around. But when I reached my driveway, I froze. There, by my front gate, stood the same figure, the pumpkin mask dripping rainwater, the carved mouth smiling in the beam of my headlights. Scene 3, The Knock. I didn't get out. I honked, once. The figure didn't react. I flashed my high beams, nothing. When I finally opened my door, the smell of wet leaves and mold hit me. I called out, "Hey, you okay?" The figure twitched. Slowly, it lifted one arm, and pointed at my house. Then, as lightning flashed, I saw something behind it, another figure, and another. All wearing those carved, rotten pumpkin masks. The rain drowned my heartbeat as I stumbled backward into the car and locked the doors. Scene 4, The Whisper Behind the Door. By the time police arrived, the figures were gone. No footprints, no sign of trespassers, just a pile of half-rotten pumpkins by my front steps, each one carved with my name. That night, as I tried to sleep, I heard faint knocking beneath the rain, slow, deliberate. When I finally checked the front door, no one was there. But the jack-o'-lantern I'd left out earlier was gone. Story 2, The House on Willow Street. Scene 1, The Invitation. My friend Hannah loved throwing Halloween parties. That year, she'd rented an old Victorian house on Willow Street, said she got it cheap because nobody wanted to live there. It was raining again that night, the kind that turns sidewalks into mirrors. When I arrived, the house looked half asleep, dim lights, fog curling around the porch. Inside, the air smelled like wet carpet and candle wax. There were maybe 8 of us there. Music playing low, laughter echoing through rooms too big for comfort. Then the power went out. Scene 2, The Basement Door. Phones lit up the room in pale blue. Someone joked it was the ghost's fault. But Hannah didn't laugh. She said the owner told her not to go near the basement, that it wasn't safe. Of course, that made everyone curious. So when a faint banging started from below, we all thought one of the guys was trying to scare us. Hannah grabbed my arm. "Don't," she whispered. "It's not funny." The banging came again, louder this time, like fists on wood. We opened the basement door. The smell hit first, something old, wet, and sour. Scene 3, The Tape Recorder. There were stairs leading down into darkness. A few steps in, our phone flashlights caught something shiny, an old tape recorder sitting on the floor. It clicked and started playing by itself. A man's voice came through, whispering, "If you're hearing this, they've already seen you." The tape clicked off. Then, from behind the furnace, came the sound of wet footsteps, slow and dragging. We ran up the stairs, slamming the door behind us. Someone yelled that they saw a hand, pale, thin, reaching through the gap as we locked it. Scene 4, The Photo. We left that house before dawn. Police said no one was in the basement, no footprints, nothing. But later, when Hannah posted a group photo from that night, we noticed something behind us, a tall, gray figure standing halfway down the basement stairs, face blurred, watching. The landlord called the next day to say the power outage wasn't from the storm. The breaker had been switched off manually, from the basement. Story 3, The Voice in the Static. Scene 1, The Storm Broadcast. I worked night shifts at a small local radio station outside Portland. It was Halloween night again, storm warnings across the county, rain hammering the roof so hard it sounded like static. We were running automated playlists, so my only job was to keep the emergency broadcast line open. But around 11:30 p.m., the station's receiver started picking up a strange signal. It wasn't from any known frequency. It sounded like someone whispering through layers of static, soft, broken words. It's not raining, it's coming. I checked every frequency. The voice followed, fading in and out with the storm. Scene 2. The call. Then the studio phone rang, no caller ID. I answered, thinking it was a prank. A woman's voice whispered, "You need to leave the building." Before I could respond, she said my name. My full name. My stomach dropped. Who is this? All I heard was the faint sound of rain, but it wasn't from outside. It was like it was inside the phone, dripping, echoing. Then, through the static, she whispered, "Look behind you." Scene 3. The broadcast room. I turned. Every monitor in the studio had gone black, except one, the security feed. It showed the hallway outside my booth. Someone was standing there, a tall figure, barely visible under the flickering lights. When I ran to check, the hall was empty. But the floor was wet, small puddles leading right up to my studio door. Scene 4. The final transmission. At midnight, the station went silent. Every system shut down. The only thing that kept playing was the strange signal, the same whispering voice, repeating one phrase over and over. "It's still raining." It never stopped. When the morning staff arrived, I was gone. The police found my headphones still hanging on the mic, the floor soaked with rainwater, though every door and window was locked tight. The recording of that night still exists, 29 minutes of static, thunder, and a faint, rhythmic tapping between the words. If you slow it down, you can hear it clearly. It's the sound of someone knocking, from inside the wall.